Jibber Jabber family, to another exciting episode of the Jibber Jabber Podcast. Today we're diving into a film that's become a cult classic for all the wrong reasons. The 1993 live-action Super Mario Bros. It was the first attempt to bring a beloved video game to the big screen, but did it really deserve the title of one of the worst adaptations ever? Or was it just misunderstood? Stick around as we break down the movie's bizarre production, surprising cast, and whether or not it's truly as bad as people say. Let's jump into the Mushroom Kingdom as per se. J-Mac, how's it going, my friend?
Very good, man. It's been a long time since I've sat down and watched this one. Although I think I did put it on relatively recently, but didn't really watch it like within the last few months, I think. But it was just it was like background film sort of thing.
Aye,
but it was nice to revisit. It's a Lee.
It's a Lee. It's a Mario. You know, I when I first got the DVD for my son, who's Mario daft, and his understanding of Super Mario is what ours is. I put this on for him, and he was like, oh, I'm not going to do it because it ruins my lighting. But he was like this. He was like, nah, get this out of here. He's like, it just did not resonate for him. But before we get right into all the goods and the bads of this film, I'm going to go ahead and play the trailer just to remind everybody just how good it was.
Feeling we're not in Brooklyn no more.
Luigi! Daisy! You better not hurt us!
They're brothers. They're plumbers.
Oh no! Mario! Luigi!
They're on the trail of a kidnapped princess and a mystical meteorite.
It's incredible!
That gives anyone who possesses it the power to rule the universe.
Get me the rock! Come and get it, lizard breath!
Now, they must rescue the princess.
Luigi!
Alien species escaping.
And make it safely back.
Later, alligator.
To our world.
Are you alright?
Before time runs out.
Shoot him! You're a bad plumber! Look out, Mario! Get him! Yes! No, stop! Gotcha! Oh, no, not again!
Super Mario Brothers. This ain't no game.
Super Mario Brothers. This ain't no game.
I think that trailer gave away a bit too much.
Didn't they always back then?
That was terrible. It was the whole fucking film just out of sequence.
I know, and we're going to get a nice wee strike for that. We'll need to fight on Monday morning. Matthew Man says, holla gents, that's me all mamma mia out my nut. He's having a movie night with the family. Saw this classic in the cinema back in the day. You read that right. Classic. Even with the 90s PlayStation CGI. Oh, there's a lot to unpack there. And before we do get into the major talking points of this film, J-Mac, give me the legacy of what this is for you. For me, right, that was the Super Mario film. I accepted it when I saw it as a kid, and I did see it as a child, and you know what? I didn't regret it. I had this on VHS right next to Ernest Goes to Africa, Beetlejuice. You know, I can still see my wee old VHS collection right now. Beetlejuice, Meet the Applegates, Ernest Goes to Africa, Secret Agent Club, Suburban Commando. Excuse me. We'll have to get into this at a later date, J-Mac, but I think, in fact, we did.
I'm pretty sure we covered it at length. We covered it at length.
For breaking my arm.
So, for me, I mean, I would have been about 8 or 9 when this came out, and I remember getting it from the video shop one Friday night, and none of us hated it. Like we all we all enjoyed it. I don't ever remember thinking this was a bad film. Never.
Yeah. No, I don't. To me, it was just the Super Mario film. I remember watching it very, very young. And then when I got it again, maybe still in primary school on VHS, I just accepted it. To me, it was only deemed bad when the internet came around, and I'm like, what, folk hated this? Do you know? You know what I mean?
Well, I looked it up on IMDb after we decided we were going to do this, and the score utterly shocked me.
4.2.
4.2, man. That's just, I mean, that's like Beaster Bunny territory.
It is. It's a stinker of a score, isn't it? It's one of those things. I think the real ones, like us, Matthewman, we know this isn't a terrible film. I think the issue, one of the big issues with it, but we'll definitely get into, is the fact that it didn't know where it belonged. You know what I mean?
One thing it definitely doesn't feel like is a kid's film. Definitely doesn't feel like a kid's film. I mean, it's got like the writing and dialogue is kid film level, but the visuals and what actually happens in the film isn't really although it's not gory or anything, it's not particularly kid friendly.
Yeah. In
my opinion.
Says, wonder how much Big Lance H got paid for his 3 seconds of screen time. You mean Big Bowser?
No, he wasn't
That's,
Bowser.
Lance Henrik. I was.
He's just the king.
King Bowser, 100%. I was.
He's just the king.
He is IMDb credited as King Bowser.
Is he?
1,000,000%.
Have you read it?
Right there, right in front of me.
Oh, you must be right then.
Mind like a week ago where I was wrong about something. Well, I think we just decided I was wrong without it being proven. But
no, I think it was proven.
Well, this week, J-Mac.
Champion again. Champion.
I'm a champion. I know. Even in the film, like, they don't necessarily say he's Bowser, but he's definitely credited as King Bowser.
Okay, fair enough. The thing is, actually, when he did pop up, I was like, that guy looks like Lance Henriksen, but I didn't actually think it was him.
Mm-hmm. That happens a lot. Like the girl that plays Princess Peach, right? Samantha Mathis. She looks like Brittany Murphy almost. Meets. Who's the last that was in? Who's that last? Was it Cranked with Jason Statham? Who's she again?
Amy Smart.
Yes. Mm-hmm. She looks like a mixture between those two. And Elizabeth Banks.
I think everybody looks like a mixture of everybody. You know, it's like, I mean, what do I look like? A cross between Ron Perlman and Shane Ward in his prime.
So it was interesting to see the cast in this, and I don't think casting was really bad at all. So let's look at.
I enjoyed. I liked Bob Hoskins. Bob Hoskins was actually good. I commented right at the beginning that his accent was pretty decent, and Lee disagreed with me. He's like, "No, I've heard about 4 accents since it started." I actually think he did a good job.
I don't think he was that bad at all. He's got the Danny DeVito-esque vibe.
Funnily enough, Murray was watching it with us as well, and when he was on the phone at the start, Murray's like, "Is that Danny DeVito?" I was like, "No, you idiot." Seems like Kev's an idiot.
That or Murray and I are fucking paying attention, and you are not.
Aye. Oh, you don't like us slagging, man.
I thought he was pretty decent. I agree with you, J-Mac. I don't think he was that bad, at all. Thing is, like, do you recall? I mean, this is an adaptation of a video game, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I don't recall it. Like, I don't recall the Mario Land being so dystopian. Do you know what I mean?
Well, as soon as they went over into that universe, I was like, it's like
Total Recall.
It's like Blade Runner or something.
Aye, Total Recall. I'm waiting on the woman with 3 tits. Right. Guy offering them a ride.
This goes back to not really looking like a kid's film.
Aye. I wonder what the thought process was in making it like that.
I just think they didn't know what to do with it, because like we've had the Super Mario Brothers movie that came out relatively recently. It's all CGI and it is very kind of what's the word, loyal to the games. You couldn't make a film like that back then. All they had was an IP. They had the Mario Brothers and had to build something around it that was physically possible to make at the time. Like, would this film be better if it was just two guys running about jumping on mushrooms? I doubt it.
Because we've seen that now, ish, right? You know what I mean?
Right,
We've seen the
the new one.
animated. Aye. So imagine that, but with that cast.
They just couldn't have done it. There's no way they could have made a game loyal film adaptation of Mario Brothers back then. But who's to say that Mario Brothers was going to last long enough to actually wait until the time came that they were able to do something with it? Like they had to jump on it while the iron was still hot. Because in 1993, Mario Brothers was still hot. It still is now.
Yeah.
But they couldn't tell that, so they had to get it done as soon as they could, I think.
Yeah, likely. Matthew Mann says, as a kid, why is that woman massaging the police guy with her high heel? I never quite understood that either.
She had sore thumbs. I don't fucking know.
It's a strange one, eh? Did you think that when you first watched it as a kid, I'm going to assume that you really enjoyed Super Mario like everybody did. When you watched it, did it alienate you a little just with how Blade Runner / Total Recall that the universe was?
But, like when I first seen it?
Mm-hmm.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think I always enjoyed it.
Yeah, because I didn't dislike it at all. I mean, look at Toad in it. He's like a wee Doug dinosaur. Gets booted, man.
Toad.
Aye.
Who was Toad in that?
The wee dinosaur thing. It was an actual
That's
tiny
Yoshi.
wee dinosaur. Oh, so, why did I call him Toad?
Because you got it wrong, mate.
Because Toad's one of the big daft lookers, eh?
Aye, Toad was the guy with the harmonica. So again, slightly different.
Aye. Why did I think Toad? Yeah, you're right. Yoshi, aye.
By the way, I was glad to see this guy make a comeback.
You've had that sitting waiting for years.
Fucking right,
Just wait.
That film's the reason I actually own one of these fucking things.
I know that. Do you know as well, when I was watching this, fitting. When I was watching this, I actually was like, just everything. See the vibe, and we always talk about it as well. That it's very hard sometimes to explain what it is, but it's just it reeks of your childhood, doesn't it? Everything about it.
I don't know. I don't think
The noises, even the practicality of it.
Well, I did point out that the sound when the alarm went off was the same as the one in GoldenEye 64.
See?
That was way after this.
Aye.
But aye, there is definitely a charm to it, and the special effects that Matthew mentioned, those were pretty shonka-donk, to be honest. But like when they first went through that cavern, the wall in the cavern, and Mario's falling down, I was like, that looks so fucking bad. But for me, it added to the charm. Pardon me.
Aye. You know, video game adaptations are a touchy one. See, when so we'll even bring it up to present day. Last of Us. So you've never played the game The Last of Us, have you?
No.
So you can only basically judge that story based on what you've seen, which is very interesting because I've known every aspect of it. I don't play Last of Us; it's not my type of game. But my wife lives and breathes it, so I've seen it. She's played it and completed it a million times, right? To the point I know everything about it, and I never asked for any of this. But yeah, I know because I've seen her, and she talks to me about it, and I get, I buy her things that are related to it, so I know everything about it without actually even wanting to. So it's interesting to see. Like, I can look at the Last of Us TV show, which I would just watch because it's a TV series, but I can compare it to a lot of the things that were in the game or were not in the game, from casting and all that. And what I will say is, from watching my wife's anger at certain points, like the casting of Ellie, right? These things are a sore point because there's an expectation. I think there's a bar that's set. And I don't think it has to be spot on to the source material, but I think there's an expectation there that it'll be true to it. What other game adaptations have you watched and went, nah, purely because it was no done in the way it should have been?
Well, I've never really been a big gamer, so I've never actually really given a shit. Like, I mean, what was there for the stuff I was growing up? Like Mortal Kombat. I mean, I still think that's pretty shit.
No, man, what?
Aye, and by the way, can I just thank Matthew Min for making sure that out of the two Mario brothers, I'm still the wee fat one. Cheers, man. That was nice of you.
He's no, mate. He's not even fat though. Look, he's not fat.
No, it's just because my head's really big on there. That's still a wee fat guy.
What's the word they call it? Stocky.
That's the word. Aye, that's the word that fat people call themselves.
I don't know. This self-deprecation. Donna Pollock says, "Good evening, guys. How are you two tonight? We are fabulous. Even better for seeing you here tonight, Donna Pollock." It's funny I say her surname every time. Eh? Matthew Mann says, "Still waiting on a good Resident Evil adaptation." Here, first one wasn't terrible, by the way. The very first one, 2004, I think it was.
I don't think I've seen one all the way through.
Mila Jovovich. Well, interestingly, I was aware of Resident Evil, the game, never played it because it really done my tits in the mechanics of it. And I hate games where you can't see a game that goes, you turn it on and you're like, right, okay, so I need to get to the bit up here, and then I have to get to the bit up here. Don't tell me what I need to do in a game. I want a game that's open fucking world. So if I decide to go up and blow somebody's car up for no reason as they're driving past, then I can. I like a game that's all about what I want to do, not what you tell me to do. And that was one of those games where it's like, you couldn't go anywhere but forward and up the stairs. Like, where else can I go?
The only game that was like that back then, what you're describing, it was like Grand Theft Auto. Like the first Grand Theft Auto. But it was still... I mean, it looked terrible compared to other PlayStation games. It was like fucking micro machines. But they had to keep the graphics low to keep the world bigger. But every game back then was just go forward, get to certain points and finish it.
Unless it was Crash Bandicoot or Sonic or that. Like, just what I really didn't like.
Where you go forward and get to the bit you're meant to get to.
Aye. But there's obstacles on the way, my dear. Right? The Resident Evil games as well. It's like you turn and your guy turns like this, and then you push forward and you stop, and nah, mate, it's too much for me. So I never really played those games, right?
They did moonwalk to turn, didn't they?
Yes.
I remember that.
Right, it's just there's some weird shit going on with it. All right, the mechanics of it just really turned me off it. Right, so when the film came out, I went into this not a fan of the games, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was one of those films when when a film comes along and you go, oh, this is different, and everybody talks about it, certain scenes like Ghost Ship. If I say, J-Mac, you seen Ghost Ship? What bit are you going to tell me about?
The beginning. Because the next day was absolute pish.
Well, whether or not it's pish, Resident Evil was one of those films where everybody talks about that one specific part that happens in it. You don't know?
No.
There's no point in me telling you, but go watch it and then see what you say to me. Actually, come to me with what your thoughts are, and let's see if you mention the part that everybody talked about, because it hadn't been done, or at least if it's been done, not enough time had passed that people were like, wow, this was pretty cool. It's like guy tries to outsmart a laser, doesn't end well for him. You know what I mean? It's like
similar to Ghost Ship, I'm imagining, or
no, because Ghost Ship, it all just kind of happens. And this thing, it's like they get locked into a room, and then a laser comes in. It's like one wee laser, and it comes and it's just killing people. It's just picking someone at a time and going through them. But then you got the wee smart arse that can do all the flips and that, and every time it comes for him, right, this laser, he's just like avoiding it at every point. So then it just goes, fuck this, and just turns into like a football net, and just goes like that, turns him into like cheese.
I've seen that once before in a film called Cube.
Oh no,
Cube, which was awful again, but it had that one interesting bit. But
well, perhaps
anyway, Mario Brothers, how's that?
So I was saying, are there any games that hey, I've never seen a Crash Bandicoot film, and that's Naughty Dog. I know, same guys who do Last of Us. Crazy, right?
I can't see that being an easy film to watch.
No. Well, here's another thing. So we got Pikachu. There you go. There's a game. We watched Pokemon the first movie.
No, you watched it. I endured the fucking thing.
I rewatched it and you endured it.
Fuck.
Yeah, nothing. Sonic the Hedgehog in recent times.
Mm-hmm.
I thought
They
it
were
was
pretty
phenomenal.
decent. Aye, pretty decent.
Phenomenal, actually. And I say phenomenal because it gets the pass because it actually did. It exceeded expectations. When you add Jim Carrey to any film, like you're onto a winner.
That's what made those films, though.
Yeah.
Jim Carrey wasn't in Mario Brothers.
No, he was in Sonic.
I know, but he wasn't in Mario Brothers. So
I know,
couldn't
he was in Sonic.
He couldn't.
All right, I get you. You couldn't save it. What, the new one? Because the old one don't need saving.
I'll give my verdict at the end.
We have Shmee, so we don't need.
Shmee?
Shmee, aye.
Shmee. Is that the correct pronunciation? Like everybody says Skoda, but it's actually Skoda.
Nah, mind he played Shmee in Hook.
Smee.
Aye, Shmee. Austin Powers Faja.
It's fucking Smee. No Shmee.
I'm calling him Shmee forever, right? I've always called him Shmee. Shmee. It's me, it's Mario.
Fuck's sake.
You are, eh? I'll be here all week, lads. So I think as far as like, and if you were to do a wee tally on game adaptations, I honestly don't think this I think there's probably worse out there.
Probably, but I mean, I think the biggest problem with this film for fans of the game is that it is literally nothing like the game. The only similarities you've got are the costumes, which only appear in like the last 20 minutes. Before that, there's nothing similar to the game. Nothing. Not a single thing. It's not even Princess Peaches, it's Princess Daisy.
I know. And she's like, "What? Wait a minute, I'm a princess."
Aye. And for some reason, instead of being Italian, like one of them's Mexican, the other one's from Brooklyn.
Well, here, another thing as well, though, what I like about this film is it very much from the beginning, for the get-go, establishes what it is they're trying to do. You know, so we know why, which we'll get to in a second. We know why the plumbers go down to the sewer, right? They're chasing after wee Peachy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then it's like, well, we need this necklace. I like films that straight up didn't have you guessing. It is what it is. It puts it on the table straight up. That's what we need to do. That's how we're going to do it. Yeah?
Yeah.
And I find they used to do that a lot better than what they do nowadays. Nowadays, everything's got to be artsy fartsy. Oh, I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? What's this really about? Well, it depends how you interpret it. No. This is what it is. Gee's the fucking necklace or gee's my missus. You know what I mean? It's very much to the point. Do you think Luigi falls pretty hard, pretty fast?
He falls pretty. Of course, that happens in a lot of stuff that we watch, man. Like the new Crow film. Fuck me.
I know.
Been going out for about a week, and he gets to come back to the dead to avenge his fucking love of his life. They've been pumping for a week in somebody else's flat. There's no. It doesn't seem to me like that's enough to have brought him back. But
to give your life and be stuck in a fucking world of pain for the rest of eternity for her. Really?
What he should have actually said when she disappeared into the wall was, "That's a shame. She was really nice."
No, not Heather. I liked Heather. And the thing is, as well, she was fucking hoaching, man.
She was not. She was far from hoaching. She was cute.
Aye, and the way that a fucking shaved fucking poodle's cute, mate.
Nah, I don't think poodles are cute.
You could.
No, she was cute, man.
She could eat an apple through a fucking letterbox.
It's in her buck teeth. She had big teeth.
She had fucking sun going on, man. She looked like a fucking critter. Come to life.
No, the Goombas looked like critters.
The Goomba! That's exactly what she looked like.
I think you're being rather hard on young Samantha Mass.
Maybe, but mate, come on. Really, she wasn't worth fucking what he had put on line.
She was what they had budget for.
You've just insulted her far worse than I ever fucking could. She's what they had to. It's like, lads, we're running it. Fuck it, she'll do. Oh, no, man.
She did it for me.
That's only because there was one point where she was pretty much naked, right? If
Oh,
that
so I
scene
missed
wasn't
that
in it, If that's the only part you're thinking about, I'm telling you right now, man, Clay Zone, walking down the street, you're no turning your head. Get the fuck, man.
Lee's just said something to me there. Oh. Wait, who are we talking about? We're talking about Samantha Mathis.
Well, the chick for thingy. Matthewman says she was dreamy. Aye, fucking, if your dream is in fucking Elm Street, you can. Janice says, hey, bye, can't stay. Sorry, love y'all. Janice, have a great time wherever you're going. Hope you're well, Janice.
I know. So we're talking about Luigi's girlfriend. Aye, Princess Peach that isn't Princess
which
Peach.
I totally get falling for really quick and running into another dimension. I get it, Luigi. Fucking Eric Draven. Sorry, shit, pal.
Sorry. Right. Okay. So when you were saying she was howling, we were talking about Shelley.
Yeah.
Sorry, mate. I thought we were talking about Samantha Mathis. That's why I was giving you a hard time. No,
we're absolutely not talking about Samantha Mathis.
No, Shelley looked like a shaved predator.
Right. Thank you.
Right. Okay.
Mate, did you think?
Cheers for clearing that up, Lee.
Sorry. Fucking hell, man. I'm glad Lee was fucking paying attention. So, no, you mentioned the Crow, and I says, I get Luigi. I didn't get Eric. Like, a week and, like, all eternity. Really? And you're like, no. And I'm like, what? Really?
And now I get the whole thing about her having a quality chassis, but a face like a welder's bench. Right.
Right. And then Matthewman pipes in, and I'm thinking, what? I'm like, am I fucking? What's going on with me here?
See, Matthewman was confused as well, so it wasn't just me.
Shaved predator. I thought you were thinking more about Romeo and Juliet.
Oh God, we'll go there. Jesus.
2040 to Raymond. Janice says, I'm fine, thanks. Busy. Janice, go do what you need to do, my friend. It's good to see you. Sharing the love. Here, how nice was it to see Fiona Shaw as well in this film?
Is that Harry Potter's Annie?
It is Annie.
I actually never realised it was her. It was.
Oh,
really? It was Lee was like, was she known Harry Potter? I was like, no, I don't think so. I was like, wait a minute, she's the auntie.
Aye, she's a right boot
Thursday.
in Harry Potter. Aye, and she's horrible too, and that's her blood's like Harry Potter's her blood, and the husband is nicer. Do you know what I mean to him? No, very much, but through it, like you know what I mean.
She's not the nicest in this either.
No,
she does have like a proper bitch face, eh?
Aye,
again, quite a decent chassis. Great. By the way, but again, she looked like a drawing of a witch.
Here, mate, I'm so glad that we cleared that up because I'm thinking to myself, what? For the record, Samantha Mathis, right, who's for some reason I never picked up that you were actually talking about her, even though you said her name, right? Typical Kev. Who John Travolta? No. Right? No, I was too busy like trying to throw it down your throat, like, what the fuck are you? Wake up, man. Wake up. What are you talking? Matthewman's like, she's dreamy, and I'm like, is it me? I'm like,
she looks like a critter.
No, did you get it? No.
I get it now.
You thought I was talking about. I'm surprised. The fact you thought I was talking about Samantha. I'm surprised you didn't give me even more of a hard time than what I was trying to give you. I expected these eyes.
Aye. I'm good at hiding my emotions.
Nah, fair dues.
I see. I'm quite good at just kind of. I'll disagree in my head, but I'll wait intently for my time to say something. If I say something you disagree with, you're just like.
That's true. There ain't no hiding with me, mate. It's always plastered right in my face. I'd be terrible at poker. You know what I mean?
He's sitting there with a good hand like
that. 100%. 100%.
There you go.
And I'm like, this, look. if I don't.
It's like, fuck this.
No point. No fucking point. 100 fucking percent. 100%. Even when we've got a guest on and their screen goes off funny and they time out for a minute and we're just sitting here, we're both like clearly like pretending we're still listening, waiting on them coming back in. But even me, I'm like, you're like, yeah, and I'm like, but I look over at you, you're just like bobbing away. I'm just like, what the fuck's going on here, man? Yeah. Spot on with that one. Did you know there was a hell of a lot of behind the scenes drama involved in this film? Did you know that?
Actually didn't. I never had a chance to delve into the background too much, so I'll let you take the gauntlet on this one.
No worries. So I've got it here. It's all in the notes, right? Directorial chaos. So the husband and wife directing team.
That's enough. That's enough to know it's fucking chaos.
I know, right? It starts right fucking there.
Right. I want you to do this. You talking it?
You've not even done A, B, and C. What do you mean, do this? Rocky Morton and Annabelle Jankel were brought in to give the film a unique, darker tone inspired by their work on the cyberpunk series Max Headroom, which makes absolute fucking sense now why we got steampunk Mario, right? Surprised there's no metal fucking armor. However, their vision clashed with the studio's desire for a more family-friendly movie. This disconnect led to frequent script rewrites and confusion on the set. It's like, hey, I thought I was a plumber. It's like you're a fucking cyberpunk fight. You know what I mean? The directors were reportedly difficult to work with, often changing scenes on the spot without informing the cast.
Jesus.
Actors would sometimes show up on set with no idea what they were supposed to be doing that day because of the constant rewrites and the last minute changes. Imagine going up to like do your lines and they're like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, what? And we changed that like 20 minutes ago. Okay, you let me know what I'm meant to say now. But I don't know. Did you feel that while watching it? Did you feel like, wait a minute, this doesn't flow as it should? I never.
I didn't feel like anything was particularly disjointed. I just thought that a lot of it was a bit brainless. You know, it was just right. We need to get from here to here, so we'll do this. Like the whole those fucking flying boots. No,
but you do have them though. You do have them in the game.
No, you fucking don't. You've got your flower power thing. You've got your raccoon tail that somehow makes you fly. You've not got moon boots with fucking jet engines in them.
I'm sure they do. Wait a minute.
If they did, that was in one of the later ones because it definitely was.
Aye, you do. Wait a minute. Sonic has the wee red runabouts, right? But I am sure as shit Super Mario has. Yes, there is. It's a green boot with wings on it. It's right there.
Right, well, they weren't green. And they never had wings on them.
Right. Fair dues. There was no Red Bull involved in the name. Pour some Red Bull in the bottom of it. Morton and Jankel's style was much more suited to gritty, edgy material, and many cast members felt they were the wrong choice for a Mario adaptation. Their efforts to ground the film in a dystopian, almost cyberpunk reality alienated the fans of the colourful, fantastical world of the video game. Ken,
it's not very often that actors try and convince the producers to fire them. You know what I mean? So, listen, you've miscast this. I'm not right for this. Please fire me.
Oh, I know. Script rewrite, and I was just trying to catch where I'm at. I've got tons of notes here. I was just trying to make sure that I don't want to miss a thing here. I'm like Steve Tyler, minus the PI though. So script rewrites and confusion. The original script went through multiple versions before and during the production, leading to a lack of direction. Initially, the script was much closer to the light-hearted tone of the video games, but as the project developed, there's been a development. It morphed into something darker and more adult-oriented. This confused both the cast and crew, who had signed on expecting a fun family film. That's interesting. Could you imagine that, J-Mac, right? You've just landed a part as fucking the remade, what's that? Hey, Albert. Nah, wrong film. They've just made the new...
It's maybe not a good example.
No, it's terrible for many reasons. They've just hired you to play Wreck-It Ralph, right? You have just got the part of Wreck-It Ralph. Okay, that's a great analogy, right? Wreck-It Ralph, but the live-action film. And they say to you, it's going to be pretty much what the cartoon is. You get there and it's like fucking Total Recall. What are you going to say? What are you going to say? You're like, wait a minute. And you get...
You'd be a bit taken aback, at the least. Like the whole aesthetic of the film is more like you say, Total Recall, Blade Runner, stuff in that vein. Like even when you go to IMDb, for the genres, the first thing it says is cyberpunk. I'm like, I don't remember Mario being cyberpunk.
Right, get this. Imagine you're on the set of Wreck-It Ralph, right, and this is your line. Wreck this, fuckers.
I'd be quite happy with that line. Wait, do you know the worst line in the film? I'm gonna kill that plumber. So how did he read that in the script and go, I can work with that?
I can understand their frustrations, especially when...
Where's my pizza? And then they're like, your pizza's here. He's like, no. That seems like an on-the-day script change.
Oh, man. Various writers were brought in to revise the script, each adding their own take on the story, further muddying the plot. Actors like Bob Hoskins and Dennis Hopper would later talk about how the script was still being rewritten while they were filming, leading to scenes
it's
being
not
shot without cohesive narrative.
It's not unusual for scripts to change on the day, but it's normally minor changes. Do you know what I mean? They'll switch words around a wee bit or something. But yeah, for what you're saying, it sounds like there were some pretty major changes to what was going on.
Cat Williams spoke on that Shay Shay podcast about how he was given the Friday After Next, which our friend Doug Curtis was the one that produced that.
Mm-hmm.
He was talking about how he was handed the script and his character, and within there, I don't know if it was his character, but he was like, he said, initially there was a black guy in there getting REAP, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And he went up to the director and was like, no. He says, like, no matter what comedy you're in, that is serious. It's never funny. If that happened to anybody, there's no humor in that whatsoever. He says, so can we just do this film without a black guy getting raped?
There's no humor in that whatsoever.
And he says, and I'll literally make it even funnier. And that's a good. If I was directing that and someone came up to me and was like, look, I really didn't like this, and here's the reason why. Can we try something that I can bring to this that'll make it better than what you've put in here? I'd be like, motherfucker, go for it, die on the hill. So if you don't, you're sacked. If you do, then that was a good shout. But it shows that someone cares when they actually, they look at the integrity of what it is they're doing and go, nah, because that's not actually funny.
Yeah,
I think that's good.
I mean, did you laugh watching this? Did you find any of it funny?
I was laughing at just seeing the faces of folk, mate. Anytime there was anything prosthetic on the, like the actual and the CGI, not so much at the patter. The patter was quite CITV, chuckle vision.
I mean, I did laugh a few times. I thought he's like right at the end when fucking Harry Potter's auntie gets fucking blasted into the wall, and he's like, she makes an impression. I was like, that's a Schwarzenegger level class one-liner.
Yeah.
Like I had a good chuckle like that. Also, I never noticed it. It was Lee that spotted it. When they turned Toad into a Goomba, he still had the spirals in his head.
That's class.
I never noticed.
No, I love it. And they make a guy. Alright. Mine's like, come and meet my dad. This looks like something that fell at your arse after a kebab. It's my dad. It's my dad.
I knew that looked familiar.
So actors' frustrations. Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo, that's how you say it. Leguizamo? Leguizamo?
Oh man, your attempts at some words, man. Leguizamo.
Leguizamo. I was close. Fucking John Lego for new one, right?
John Leguizamo. What did you say?
Leguizamo. I said Leguizamo.
No, you didn't.
100%.
Rewind it, mate. Show me.
You'll have to go back and watch in the archives. So John Leguizamo. Leguizamo.
Leguizamo.
You go in it? Hi, Wizamo. It used to be till I used it.
Fuck
My Leguizamo. John Leguizamo were openly frustrated with the chaotic production. Hoskins later revealed in interviews that he hated working on the film, calling it a nightmare, and saying that it was the worst job he'd ever done. He also admitted that he had no idea what the Super Mario Brothers video games were before signing on to the project. What a dafty. Hoskins and Leguizamo often resorted to drinking between takes to deal with the stress.
Oh, I actually did know that. I think they were hammered for a good chunk of the film. Like,
that's hilarious. I mean, it even adds to the charm. Eh? The actors even had onset accidents due to the unpredictable environment, with Hoskins breaking his finger. Leguizamo suffering a leg injury. It's Leguizamo for the film.
Leguizamo.
During a stunt involving a van, the wee white van, yes. Dennis Hopper, King Koopa, was also deeply unhappy with the production. Hopper, known for his intense performances and strong opinions, reportedly lost his temper several times on set. And one famous incident, he had 6-hour rant. Fucking hell. I mean, that's woman level rant, right? about how terrible the script was and how poorly organized the production had become. Hopper later expressed in interviews that he had no idea what was going on at the time.
The thing is that this is the type of role that Dennis Hopper should have really chewed up, but he just seemed to not be there half the time. It's the perfect role to ham up and be Dennis Hopper for, and like most of it, he was just looked like he'd rather be anywhere else.
I think he's always a bad guy, isn't he? Dennis Hopper, most of the time. Waterworld is a bad guy. He's a bad guy.
It wasn't always that way. It's just I think he happened to start playing bad guys occasionally, and folk were like, he's fucking good at playing a bad guy.
Yeah.
But I think the same year was when True Romance came out, and he was actually a good guy in that. But I don't think he'd done that for a while. But let's just mention how good he was in Speed.
Remember Orange mobile phones done a spoof of that when they used to, before you go to the cinema, and an Orange mobile, remember Orange?
Mm-hmm.
They would play their wee spoof of whatever film before the cinema, your film came on. Did you ever see them?
Probably.
And Dennis Hopper was in that, and he was doing a spoof of Speed. Dennis Hopper's excellent, man. God rest his soul. Waterworld, he's a great bad guy in that. Matthewman says, if they were going to do another live-action Mario Bros, who would you cast?
Lizzo.
That's a fine question. We already spoke about this. Lizzo is what? King Koopa?
No. Big Bertha.
Big Bertha. Oh, there we go. Wolfman's Got Nard says Orange Wednesdays. Yeah, that's it. They've done quite a few, and they were actually, by the way, they were very good. Those were the days where they actually put a lot into what it was that they were trying to achieve. Nowadays, it just seems pish. I do like that one though, where they do all that crazy shit with the sound, and they're like, now, turn off your phone, all that shit. I do like that, and then the noise. You know?
It just goes black, and then it just goes, hello. You're just like, fuck.
I know. Have I died? But no, Orange Wednesdays, they were the days, man. Oh, it takes me back. Fucking beautiful, man. Beautiful.
I know you've got Meerkat Tuesdays or whatever they want to call it.
Fuck off with that pish. So there's a lot of tone confusion in this film. One of the biggest sources of friction on set was the film's tone. Morton and Jangles. Morton and Jangles. fucking Joe, man. The dark dystopian vision didn't sit well with the actors, especially those like Hoskins and Leguizamo, who had signed on for what they thought would be a family-friendly comedy. I get that from Hoskins. The studio.
Did you? Sorry, did you spot the? It was a quality joke that was put in. It was when Cooper was there pretending to be the lawyer, and he's like, "I'm Barry Lazard for Lazard and
Yes.
Lazard." And then he starts rhyming off these other lawyer names, Dactyl,
Yeah.
and
Yes.
like Steger, and then just at the end he went and Cohen. Yeah, just chucking a Jewish name at the end. I thought it was class.
Syrian. The future's orange. They predicted Trump. True story.
Cooper's quite
but-
Trumpy in this, isn't he? I mentioned that during the film. Like, they vote Cooper and all that, and it was like,
aye.
the blonde hair, the red tie. Interesting.
Except he was an actual villain. That tune is back for the Showcase Cinemas. Yes, Pearl and Dean. So I worked with them. Took me back to when I heard it. 100%. So that's who in the independent cinema. That's who we dealt with, was Pearl and Dean. They're on the outs because there are other companies now selling ad space, and Pearl and Dean. Once they were glorious, they were everywhere. Now not so much, but a lot of these big cinema chains are going back to Pearl and Dean because they're getting a better rate because the cinema industry's on its arse. But I've met a lot of the people for Pearl and Dean. They're really nice folks. I say to them, like, see that tune? Never get rid of it, right?
That's why they've still got it. With
That's why it's back.
Like, listen, I think if we didn't bring this back, he's going to stab somebody.
100%, man. It was beautiful. That just
He's going to unalive one of us.
Oh god, didn't get me started. Unalive. That's what they're using now, eh? They're wrecking it.
That's so stupid.
I know. So we didn't get shadow banned, man.
For saying kilt. Sorry,
No.
I meant unalived.
Unalived. Mind how it used to be alive. Aye. Well, he's no anymore. What was that thing you saw online? Or was it on the TV? And they were like, he's like, yeah.
Oh no, it was a really bad film called Sex Lives of the Potato Men.
Love that. The crazy paving.
and there was a bit where I think it was Mackenzie Crook, his sister and her husband had died, and he had to tell their son, his nephew, and he's like, I don't know what to say. I'm terrible at this sort of stuff. And Johnny Vegas's character's like, I'll do it. I'm all right at this sort of stuff. And he walks up and goes, you know how your mum used to be alive. The rest of the film was pretty pish.
No, it had its moments. I've seen a lot of crazy, but no paving. That had its moments.
My wife used to let me put strawberry jam on a twat, and I miss her that much that I've started putting fish paste on my jam sandwich.
It's like, what the fuck is going on in this film?
I know. I think that's one of those films that you have to revisit a few times, but it's one that flew heavily under the radar. Pardon me. Johnny Vegas. He was good. He was good in his day. Budget and time pressure. The movie's budget spiraled out of control as the chaotic production dragged on. I mean, it sounded like a scream to be party. Can you imagine? hey.
Every time something would be going wrong, you'd be in the back laughing your arse off trying to put up lights or something. You're like, this is a fucking joke.
It reminds me of, like, you know, that chaotic scene where all the in Labyrinth, you know, as he's kind of like just kind of before he sings Magic Dance and everybody's just swinging a bit like, and he's like, quiet. You know, that part, to me, it just fucking feels like that. It says initially set for a relatively modest £48 million dollar budget.
That's quite a lot back then.
I know, for a modest budget. Cost kept rising due to the constant script rewrites, production delays, and the high demands of special effects. High demands! I'm fucking sit down.
There was one thing that was actually commendable with the special effects, and it was the animatronic for Yoshi. I actually thought that was pretty decent for that
That was
thing.
pretty cool. I agree with that.
Like, I think it was like Jurassic Park level animatronic. It didn't have the CGI to enhance it like Jurassic Park did.
Yeah.
But the animatronic itself, I thought, was really pretty good.
Well, that's what it goes on to say. It goes on to
that
say
cost 48 million.
And the high demands of special effects and practical creature designs like the animatronic Yoshi. It says time constraints only made matters worse, with the studio pushing to get the film released on time. This led to rushed decisions, incomplete effects. Fuck it, it'll do. And a
Oh my
feeling
god! So that's why it looked so bad. They literally hadn't finished it. That's
Literally.
actually gutting. That is gutting. So it actually, like, it wasn't because of the budget. It was because of time constraints. So that could have looked a lot better than it did. That's
We
a
just
shame.
had run out of time, though. I was running a bit like Dafty's. It says the feeling that the film was thrown together rather than carefully crafted. The rushed production schedule left little room for reshoots or post-production fixes. So many of the scenes that were shot quickly and under pressure ended up in the final cut.
Oh god!
That's class, man. I actually love that. It goes on to say about the struggles here with special effects. The film featured a mix of practical effects and early CGI, which were both ambitious and problematic. The animatronics used to bring Yoshi and the Goombas to life were impressive for the time, but incredibly difficult to work with. The technology wasn't fully reliable, leading to long delays and adding frustration to the already stressed crew. The Goombas, in particular. I imagine.
I keep laughing at the word Goombas.
No, I just imagine somebody who's walking talking. It's like, yeah, I sorry, Gaffer. We're doing as best we can. It's just, these Goombas.
Do you know what the Goombas actually are in the game?
Uh-huh. What?
The wee mushrooms that you jump on. Not
Aye,
the
the wee
ones
brown
that,
things.
not the ones that you eat. Aye, the ones that you kill. They're Goombas.
Aye, the brown ones.
So they've deviated slightly for the source material on that one, turned them into big fucking green toothy monsters.
Which makes sense. Because they're fucking with DNA. It says the Goombas in particular were a point of contention. These large, slow-moving creatures bore almost no resemblance to the video game counterpart, which fans immediately noticed and disliked. Like, no fucking Goomba.
I like how it says immediately noticed, like they would struggle to notice it. Do you know what I mean? So,
Something seems off. Something seems off.
it's like that wee old there that's like,
There's a frog in it.
The practical effects crew struggled to get the animatronics to work correctly, which slowed down production even more. And then it goes on to say that directors fell out. Man and wife, unheard of. The relationship between the directors and the cast became so strained that by the end of the production, the actors were reportedly ignoring Morton and Janko's instructions. Cut.
Oh,
no.
man.
Keep going. Crew members have since described the atmosphere on set as toxic, which fits right in their cyberpunk universe, with open hostility between the directors and actors. Imagine that. Morton and Janko were largely sidelined during the editing process. The studio took control of the final cut, trying to salvage the film. That's not a good word at that process. Salvage the film and make it more family friendly. Did they? Aye. But the
Where?
Hey, if that's them making it more family friendly, think about, mate. You know what they need to do? An Arrow box set edition with the original shit, the stuff that was left out, stuff that made it to the cutting floor, had already been done. The end result was a jumbled, inconsistent movie that reflected the chaos behind the scenes. Well, as the viewer, I can't say that I felt the chaos. I need to watch this now again, just to see if I can pick up on the chaos, because I thought
There's nothing in it, like objectively within the world of that film. There's nothing in it that doesn't make sense. There's nothing in it that's left unanswered as such.
bar
So-
the stiletto massage.
I think that was just to say, going to a police station in this place is fucking strange. Like, you've literally got a prosy massaging a cop's shoulder while he's booking somebody in with her high heel.
That's a bit strange. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to say prosy. I meant to say thanks worker. Prosy!
That's probably even worse. Yeah, it says here, legacy of the turmoil. The troubled production left a lasting impact on the industry. The disastrous experience made Nintendo much more cautious about allowing Hollywood to adapt its properties for decades. So that's why the company avoided further live-action adaptations, and it wasn't until the success of Detective Pikachu in 2019, which I've not watched, Ryan Reynolds, and the Super Mario Brothers in 2023 that they reconsidered working with Hollywood. The film's failure also became a cautionary tale in Hollywood about adapting video games. The chaos on the set and the eventual box office bomb made studios wary of tackling video game movies for years, contributing to the long-standing reputation that such adaptations are doomed to fail. I don't know. I think it was obviously a terrible time, and I think it's more to do with how it was handled. You just had people in charge clearly that didn't know how to be in charge. Or too many cooks in the kitchen, right? Because I know that's like being micromanaged, and it fucking sucks.
I present to you Exhibit B, Street Fighter movie.
What was wrong with that?
And that's the end of my time on the podcast.
Did you hate Street Fighter? I've got that.
Of course I did. It was fucking steaming pish.
What are you talking about?
It's horrendous, man. Don't even try and justify. In fact, there's another one. We'll do that. We'll do that.
There. It's right up there. We will
Right,
do Street Fighter. Mate, you didn't like Street Fighter?
No.
Oh, this is another one.
Who wants to go home? And who wants to come with me?
Mate, I had everything in it that you
shit,
want.
shit.
Mate, I had everything in that you could possibly want.
Mate, I had a Kodak finish.
Aye, and that's just everything you could possibly want. Raul
No.
Julia.
Well, aye, he was good in it, but he was good at a shit thing. That's no particularly Street Fighter. Pishy pish.
Pishy pish. Aye, but class pish. Matthew, man, where are you, man? Back me up here, my friend. There he is. Street Fighter was shite, but enjoyable
Yes!
shite. There he is.
You weren't expecting that, were you?
No, that's exactly. I literally just said that. It was pish, but it was good pish.
Oh no, I just stopped.
JCVD.
I stopped reading after Street Fighter was shite. sorry. I was gloating too early. I just warned my son yesterday about gloating and how it doesn't always go the way you think. So I do apologise. Oops.
It's 2 for 2. Wolfman and J-Mac, and there's Matthew Min and I. Big JCVD was super coked out his nut during the whole thing. that's why we love it. No, bear in mind,
He
I've
wasn't
not watched
coked out
it.
his mind. He was unsober.
He was unsober. My memories of Street Fighter were class. I loved it as a kid, and I've not watched it, and I haven't watched it since then. And I got it physically on DVD up there, so I'm all for going right over that,
Right.
mate.
Let's do Street Fighter.
Next week, 9 p.m. Sunday.
Okay. Right.
And by the way, J-Mac, a wee exclusive for you on the 27th, Sunday the 27th. Our friend Wolfman's Got Nards will be coming on this here podcast and I believe Matthew John as well that night. I'm awaiting his confirmation.
Nah,
But
I think
I
bet you at the last minute.
Graphic
I bet you at the last minute, Matthew Min and his wife will have creative differences on that one.
creative differences. they'll be directing their own Super Mario Brothers film. Creative differences. Fucking love it.
This episode will have a
Creative
behind the scenes IMDb trivia page.
Yeah, I'm just not feeling this one. By the way, I didn't bring up some of the artwork here actually. That wasn't actually that bad
No.
when you look at how he looks, right? I don't see any issue there. Even look at Luigi; he's not terrible. And what I love as well is he always say, "What's your name?" Luigi. I was like, "What?" Mario Luigi is Mario's name, so his brother being Luigi is Luigi. Did you know that?
No, he's Mario, and it's Luigi Mario.
That's it. Sorry, that's it. You're
Keys
right.
the belt. Keys the belt, mate. It's my belt. It's my belt. Mate.
I know when it's time.
I'll need to get one. I'll need to get one of them.
doing-
I'll need to get one of
You're
them that you can pass to me, just so I can be like that.
Please. I know this is called the winged eagle, right? So if you're a wrestling fan, this is what many believe to be the true representation of a champion. Bret Hart, Yokozuna, Undertaker, all the early days. The artwork, by the way, and the posters were fucking beautiful. It's like Matthew Min was alive back then. Oh, no, he was alive.
No,
back
man. I think that's pretty shit, to be honest.
I fucking love it, mate.
That's really... Wait, Lee, is that poster shit? He'll get my question in a second. I think he's about
Aye,
8
right.
seconds behind.
Aye, right. Come on,
Here we
Lee,
go.
man.
It's shit.
No, it's no. Mate, the year is 1994 and you rock up to a video store and you see that on the case. That's coming home with you.
I don't know. Like,
It's coming home. It's coming.
don't say it's coming home. Don't say it's coming home in this podcast.
Look, she looks awfully Elizabeth Banksy there, Princess Peach. She's even dressed like Peach, isn't she? Mate, I didn't
She's
know
like-
Kurgan was in this. I know.
On the right.
McLeod.
Another time, Mario.
Mate, and they also alluded to it being they were going to have a sequel as well at the end.
What was it going to be called?
Super Mario Bros. 2.
Cool.
But did you see at the end? Peach comes in and she's like, "Oh, fucking off your arses, I've got a gun."
That tongue was weird.
Aye, that's very Gene Simmonsy. I love these bad guys, man. Who'd want to fight with a Goomba, man? They look so sound. Yeah. CGI was not terrible, by the way.
The photography, the CGI doesn't look too bad, but in practicality, like when you're actually watching it, it's pretty fucking bad.
It went all Thanos-y. I like the
Aye.
fact that they actually had a good bond as brothers. It was pretty cool.
Aye,
Yeah.
it was like I said, my brothers, and I was like, in my mind, I'm going, well, it's a bit like Rodney and Del Boy, really. There's a big age gap,
100%.
and one brought up the other.
Yeah.
So no, I don't think like there's nothing wrong with the casting in this film. The problem
No.
problem is that, and I'm saying I didn't hate this, by the way. I got to the end of it, and I think I said to Lee I gave it like a 5.5, which is 1.3 above its IMDb score. He was still sitting about the 4.85 mark, I think. But it just wasn't quite exciting enough. I think it was a bit dull. But it might just be because of the setting. That dystopian setting just made it a bit less fun than it should have been. Although I did like the sequence in the pipe with the mattresses.
Yeah, that is a Kurgan tongue. Ah! Mate, Clancy Brown is probably one of the greatest. Of all people to have on this podcast, I would love to have Mr. Brown on it.
Yeah.
The working title episode for the 27th Best and Worst Horror Movies 2020 to 2024, where we each will bring our favourite, new school horrors, our favourite and our least favourite, to the podcast, and we'll talk about them. For example, I'm 100% bringing Hereditary. Was that 2019? No, I don't know. If I've got the date wrong, I think I'm out with Hereditary. But for example, if I were to bring Hereditary, which was 2018, so I won't be, right? If I brought that to the table, I would tell you all why I love it and why I thought it was great, and then you can all tell me whether you dislike it or like it and your reasons for, and we'll decide as a collective group of movie lovers if it stacks against many of the classics and why it will and why it won't. It was an A24 release that I thought was pretty decent, and I'll tell you why, but not on that episode I won't, because it's there. Wolfman says I have movies in mind. I knew you would, and I knew these are the type of things that J Mac and I go ooh. So I knew you would, and I know Matthew, man. If we can get all four of us to chat about that on the 27th, that'd be a beast of an episode. It'll be really good, because we'll get a good conversation about good horror. And horror, I know it's making a bit of a comeback these last few years, because there's a long time where it's like, oh, it's a horror, but every horror's shite. It's the same regurgitated pish. So I'm looking forward to that episode. Really, I am. And I'm looking forward to the next episode, which will be Sunday, 9 p.m, where we talk about Street Fighter. I'm actually looking forward to that one. Yeah. Of course, you can always catch us Sunday at 9 p.m.
What the fuck happened to my teeth in that?
I don't know. I don't know. But they look fun. Yeah.
I look like a contestant on Bullseye.
I know. That's funny though. Bullseye.
Which I might be, because I just applied for it.
Did you actually? Is it still a thing? Is that an actual thing?
It's coming back at Christmas with Freddie Flintoff presenting.
Freddie Flintoff. Mate, that'd be cool to see you on. That'd be funny. Hereditary is 2018, so that wouldn't count. If it's 2020 onwards, correct, my man. I fucked it. So no points to me. But 2020 to 2024, we'll look at that. Matthewman says, pick your favourite Street Fighter guy then for future ref. I like Blanca. Fucking love Blanca.
My favourite in the game was Dalsim.
Aye. For future reference, I love his wee wink. For future ref, that wee wink. I love it. I love it. I'll be looking forward to that. What did you just say there? You just said something. Aye. So J-Mac, you've been on Most Haunted. You've been on the radio fighting with feminists. You've been around, so it'd be quite funny. And I'm sure we would do a Jibber Jabber watch along with your episode on Bullseye if you make it to the... I would love to see that. It would be hilarious. I'd just say BU, turn it all the way up to fucking 12 and
actually win the star prize at the end. I'm going, are you still in speedboats? Are you still
I've got a boat. I got a boat.
Yeah, I saw one the other day that it was the guys were so disappointed. The star prize was £2,000 worth of fashion.
Okay, no, that'd be quite funny, man. I hope, fingers crossed. I hope you get picked for it and go ahead and do it because it would be something funny for us to watch. We should do a watch along of your episode of Most Haunted where you're like, is there anybody there? Aye? And they're like, oh, just listen. You hear this tapping. You're like,
It'd be really funny if
is
there anybody there? And you just hear, no.
see if I was there with you. Could you imagine? Could you imagine, mate? Could you imagine us on Most Haunted or any show like that? We would take over it. This has been proven. We would just take over the whole fucking show, wouldn't we? Man, how many times have we been on other people's podcasts and then they didn't get a fucking word in?
So that's Wolfman never having us on his podcast.
It's like, welcome to Wolfman's Got Nards, where Barry used to chat, but I'm Kevin, this is Jamie.
It's like you're watching Wolfman's Got Nards, but we've changed the name of this show to Kev's Talking Pish. And I'm following.
Oh. You're like, and I'm sick. What was it?
What?
that was you. That was you. This moment there. I need to get some more sound clips for this.
I think so.
I've got others, but I'm not going to play them. So on the whole, I enjoyed my time watching this film, revisiting it. It brought back a lot of nostalgia for me, even though it's like I don't necessarily look at it as a Super Mario film. I don't relate the game to this, but for what this is, I fucking loved it because it was fun and it reminded me exactly, about some of the films I watched as a child. So I loved it for those reasons. Didn't hate it. It was an easy watch. I'm glad I watched it.
It was good fun. It wasn't it was a bad film, but it was good fun, and it didn't feel as long as it was, and that's always a thing. Like if it doesn't, it's about an hour and 3/4 long. It didn't feel that long to me, so it must have done something right.
For sure. So we will see you next week for Street Fighter. Fucking looking forward to this, mate. Because I might hate it. I might watch it and go, J-Mac, you were right, mate.
And that's the end of the podcast.
Kylie Minogue's in it as well.
I remember.
So I'm looking forward to it. So thank you everybody for tuning in tonight. You're absolute fucking legends. Get yourself a wee pat on the back. Get yourself a beer from me. But you're paying for it though. But that's from me. I'm joking. And yeah, hopefully we'll do some more cool stuff in the future and keep tuning in, and we'll keep doing the best we can and all that fun shit. J-Mac, anything you'd like to say?
Trust the fungus.
Believe in the fungi.
No, it was trust the fungus.
Still though, to trust it, you truly have to believe in the fungi.
Fuck off.
The fun guy.
Aye. On that note, we'll see you next week.